Hey folks, and welcome to the Little Joe Show. Got something special today. I'm sharing a tip that can revolutionize your live playing. Like when you go out and play with other people. I may just call this the Broken Rib Edition. So welcome to this short presentation on how to create freedom moving between Vestipole and Spanish tunings. This was something that was a total mystery to me until I had a couple of realizations that I want to share with you today that really made playing out in band situations much, much easier for me so that I didn't have to have multiple guitars. So in the first place, there are some similarities between these two tunings. And the first thing I'd like to do is just outline those now so we can see for ourselves why they feel so similar under our fingers. So the first piece of the DNA is they're both open tunings. Vestipole is simply D tuning and Spanish is G. So they're basically the same idea using different pitches, and that's the big shared DNA. All right, so like I said, they're both open tunings, and you know, the intervals are really going to tell you the tale. The same interval logic between each tuning in different pitches, if you look past the note names and focus on the intervals, the structure is nearly identical. Vestipole is root, fifth, root, major, third, fifth, root. So functionally, open D and open G are the same tuning transposed to a different key. Everything you learn in one tuning, chord shapes, slide positions, hammer-on ideas, can map directly onto the other. That's why older players back in the day could jump between them with almost no mental adjustment. And they're also both very slide friendly because of the chord formations. So just play the chord open. That's the root or the one chord in each tuning. The fifth fret in each of the tunings is the four chord. The seventh fret is the five chord. So this is the same in both tunings. Also, you get some nice root and fifth drones, so you can play freely on the higher strings. It just frees up your slide playing a lot, make things a little easier for you. I'm letting this drag on a little just so you can have a chance to read the notes on the page. Now, one thing that I always found interesting is Vestipole and Spanish are similar because they're essentially the same musical idea in different keys, but Spanish could be either G or A for the most part, and Vestipole E or D. Now, Sunkaus called A tuning high A tuning, and I've heard other players refer to it that way as well. I've always found that very interesting. They're very loose in as far as what pitch it's in. And in short, like I said, they're similar because they're essentially the same musical idea in different keys. Open major chord tunings designed for slide, drones, and rhythmic power. Different pitch, same language. Now let's move on from this part and get into the scales. Now scales are numbered by each note's distance from the root. Okay, and we're going to get into this a little bit more. So it's usually you've got 7 notes in each scale. The first, so if it's C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C is 1 again. So those numbers are going to move by their distance from the root. Okay, so to move on from that idea, the scales also apply this idea to chords, right? So if a scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, then the root or the one note is C, right? So that's a C chord. The 4, you can count up C, D, E, F, is going to be F, and the 5 is G, C, D, E, F, G. You just have to count up. So if you know where the notes all lay out on the neck of the guitar and whatever tuning you're in, you can translate any lick, or not even where the notes, but just where the intervals are. Now, this seems like a really big idea, but you're going to get it, and then the light bulb's going to come on for you on this, just like it did for me. It took me years, and I'm hoping it only takes you this presentation to begin to understand how things work. So let's translate those intervals to numbers. Open D, or vestipole, is 1-5-1-3-5-1. Open G is 5-1-5-1-3-5. But look, if you look at both of those, 1-5-1-3-5 exists in each tuning, right? So they're basically using the same intervals. It's just that in open D, it starts at the 6th string, and in open G, it starts at the 5th string. So that's really where the switch of the light bulb is going to come on for you, is recognizing that they're the same intervals, right, when you're looking at the notes in the chord. So now let's just take a look at a lick that's going to make the shift really clear. In both tunings, the phrase is going to begin on the 5th and resolve to the root. And don't worry, I'm going to throw some tab up so you can see where it is. But it's going to move through the classic blues pathway of 5, 4, 3, and 1. It's a foundational blues movement you can hear across Delta, country blues, and early slide traditions. And I can almost guarantee you guys have this in your quiver. So if you look on open D, 2nd string, 12th fret, slides down to 10th fret, 2nd string, and then 12th on the 3rd and 12th on the 4th. Okay, so we're starting at the 2nd string. Let's remember that. We're starting at string 2, 12, 10, 12, 12, or 5, 4, 3, 1. That's the vestipole. I'll give you a second to let that soak in. Now, open G, all we do is go up 1 string. We're starting on the 1st string now. 12, 10 on string 1, string 2, 12, string 3, 12. The same intervals, 5, 4, 3, 1. So that means that you can take licks, and if you're transposing from vestipole to Spanish, you simply move up 1 string or towards the floor, right? You want to go to the thinner, the higher pitches. If you're going from open G back to vestipole, you're going to go down 1 string. All right, and you can see that through these 2 licks. So, thank you guys for joining me. I have a little bit of a challenge for you here. I want you to go and find my lesson on Muddy Waters, I Can't Be Satisfied, and that's in Spanish tuning. Transpose that down to vestipole. And again, Spanish is just open G and vestipole is open D. So transpose it down and see how it works out for you. That tune, like I said, was originally in Spanish, also in vestipole. I play it in vestipole a lot of times, especially when I'm out with people playing, because if there's a singer you're working with and they can't sing it at that high of a pitch or that low, sometimes it pays to move it around some. So, guys, give it a shot. Now, I just want to thank you all for taking some time with me to explore a new way to give yourself some freedom between these tunings. Before we go, I just want to mention my free monthly newsletter with a little bit of blues history and a blues guitar lesson each month. It also is going to have tablature. And when you sign up, I'll send out the current month's newsletter to you, plus your Delta Blues Slide Guitar Starter Pack. And that's all at no cost to you. It's just something I do every month to help out my folks that are following me so they can get a little tab if they don't want to go and subscribe to Patreon. All right, guys, I'll see you all on Friday for a quick lick. If you want the slides to this presentation, they will be available on Patreon, and I'll put a link to Patreon in the description.